Okay, so in preparing for this demo, I kind of thought of a fun little analogy. If you remember the old Reese's Pieces campaign, two great tastes together as one. You know, they're chocolate and peanut butter, and that's really kind of the theme for this demo. Is when you put Salesforce, which is the leading cloud computing vendor and application in the world, along with the leading mobile tablet platform in the world, which is the Apple iPad, you kind of get that same thing. These two great things put them together at one. And with Salesforce, you have web-based ease of use. And with an Apple iPad, what you have is mobility and access to things like GPS location or geolocation features, which we'll actually show in the demo. And actually for our demo today, we'll be using a metaphor of economic development. So economic development is when a city, a county, or a state wants to bring business into their location to improve the lives of their citizenry. And that's what we're going to show you today. So let me just log in. What I'm showing you right here is the Salesforce application. Because it is web-based, we can just log in via Safari. I've already got my username and password typed in. And it takes me right into the application. And so now I'm in Salesforce. Now, a few things about Salesforce. The way we are set up, an application, you can change applications in the upper right hand corner here. So you could see grants management, workforce development, call center. These are all applications that you can build because Salesforce is highly customizable, and you can build whatever kind of application you want. Even though we're known for CRM and Salesforce automation, as you'll see in this demo, we'll do economic development. So instead of changing apps, I'm just going to stay in the economic development one. And what you see across the top is our collection of tabs. And right now on my home page, I've got a couple dashboards. And let me explain kind of the way this economic development process would work. So the city or the county would potentially launch a campaign, maybe it's television or radio, trying to lure business into their region. And as those campaigns are created, then leads can come in from prospective businesses that want to come to the municipality. And so these leads can be entered here, or the economic development reps, which are going out and visiting with businesses, they can also enter leads, which is what we'll do today. And then there's also opportunities. Those leads, when they get qualified, they can be converted into opportunities here. And then also we have organizations, and the organizations are the accounts and the companies that the economic development reps would be working with. And notice when I clicked on opportunities how, because it's all web-based, it looks great on the iPad, and it just automatically kind of fits the screen. So it's really nice how it looks on the iPad. So let me go into leads and just kind of show you how this works and how easy it is. So I've got a couple recent leads, but I'm actually going to go out. I'm going out to visit a business today, and I'm going to create a new lead manually just so you can see this. And I'll just call the name here. We'll just call him Bob. Oh, Smith. Oops. Last name Smith. Real creative there. And then Bob, we'll call him Bob. And what's the company? The company is called Big Factory. Whoops. Big Factory Motors. How's that? And Big Factory Motors is potentially going to put in a factory in our in our town. So we'll just save that for now. We're not going to fill out the address information, so I'm going to save that lead. And what's cool is now the lead is here. It's created, and I can see all the activity and activity history. I can associate this with a campaign if I wanted to. I'm not going to do it to this point, but then I could associate and see how effective the campaigns that we're doing have been. Now, here's a kind of again, this shows the extensibility of Salesforce along with the unique features of the iPad. Right now, Big Smith Factory Motors, I'm just going to get there. I'm going to use the GPS feature of the iPad and actually go out and using the iPad's geolocation, I got to say okay on this, I'm going to pull pull in, based on my latitude and longitude, this is the address. So it's here in Ashburn, and I'll just save that. And when I save that, you'll notice that it's pulled right into that lead. Now, so now this lead's been created. Again, I could do other information. Now I've concluded my meeting with the people at Big Factory Motors, and I think this is a real opportunity, right? So I'm going to take this lead and now actually convert it with this convert button into an opportunity. So when I say convert, notice how it tells me these red lines are what's required. So we can do field level security and field level kind of manipulation to say, hey, these things are required. We can do things like send an email to whoever the record owner is. We're not going to do that at this point. And Big Factory Motors, I can create a new organization. That's one way to do it. Or I could click on here. If I click on here, it would bring up existing organizations. So these are all the existing organizations that we could add it to. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it here. Create a new one, and then I'm just gonna subject. I'll create a task. I'll follow up, and let me save that, and let me convert this lead. And now you can see we've popped over to the organization tab. Notice how the billing address has been put in there. It's carried over. If I wanted to, again, part of the beauty of the iPad is that you can be connected anywhere. So if I wanted to, I could click out and do a Google search right from here and go right into Google and say, okay, hey, Big Factory Motors, and maybe I want to look them up. Okay, so I even could have done that. Maybe I did that as prep before I went in and had my meeting. But let's go back to Salesforce. And the other thing that I can do is I can associate, these are what are called related lists down at the bottom. So I could look at the activity history. These are brand new. This organization we created is brand new. But maybe I want to create a new project, right? Because Big Factory Motors is actually, so we've got an opportunity, and there's actually a project associated with it. And we'll call this a new parts factory. New parts factory, how's that? And it's the grantee, it's Big Factory Motors, and this is more related to, specific to economic development, which is important to realize that in Salesforce, you can customize all of these objects, all of these fields. They can all be customized to meet your needs. So we've customized this a little bit for economic development. So I'm just gonna pick one of these, and notice in the iPad how it just really nice just pops up. And I'll scroll down. I'm gonna click on the date here. What's the start date of this thing? And I click on that. Or I could go, and if I click on the field, notice how again it's all HTML compliant. It looks beautiful in the iPad. I can just, select their pop-up window here, and I can say, oh, since this is economic development, I want to figure out how many jobs is this going to create. And we think, this might create, let's say, 500 jobs. And then when the project completed, we can actually put what it actually did create. And I'll just save that. And now we've got a new project. And if we go back to the organization tab, there's our organization, Big Factory Motor. And as I scroll down, then you would see there's the project, the new parts factory. So we might have multiple projects being associated with this as part of our economic development activity. So I think this was a really quick demo, but it kind of gives you a feel of Salesforce and how it can work on the iPad. Because it's all HTML web-based, it works perfectly in the Salesforce Safari browser. And because the iPad has geolocation, we could take advantage of that and take advantage of the connectivity that it had. So imagine now that this is, in this whole time, this was in the hands of an economic development rep who was actually going out talking to people on site. So thanks a lot and have a great day.